lot of us probably sang a song when we were young and in Sunday school that said, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." That's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. God's light shining through you, through me. I am God's light. Now it's interesting, we're going to experience today 5 different ways you can vocally express that statement. Very simple little statement, but 5 different ways we can express it, 5 different ideas that we can express through it. First, we say, I am God's light. I'm going to ask you to join me in affirming this in 5 different ways, and you got a firm grasp on it. So, I am God's light. I, me, myself, not somebody else, not just someone like Mother Teresa, not only some saint, not some special teacher or mystic, but me. Not even some guru that's going to tell me how I should live my life. As Gene Houston says, remember, guru is spelled G. You are you. And so, I am God's light. This is powerful because it says we must take responsibility for living this truth. It's not up to somebody else. It's not their job. It's my responsibility, my ability to respond to what God has given me. That's my spiritual journey. I'm going to use some passages from A Course in Miracles today. I don't always, but this particular talk lent itself to that. So from lesson 61 of A Course in Miracles, we have this. That lesson is titled, I am the light of the world. And it goes on to say, this then is merely a statement about the truth of yourself. It refers to you as you were created by God. It simply states the truth. I am the light of the world. That same lesson includes the affirmation, I am the light of the world. This is my only function. This is why I am here. That's a pretty heavy challenge to us. My only function is to be the light of the world. But we're working on it. The second way we can make this statement is to say, I am God's light. Again, let's take that together. I am God's light. And it's the first person singular of the verb to be. One definition says that that means to express in the present moment. Right now. One of the main ideas in the Course in Miracles, in metaphysics in general, is this idea that now is the only time there is. The present moment is it. The Course also tells us that we have this light with us all the time. In Lesson 188 we read, those who seek the light are merely covering their eyes. The light is in them now. Enlightenment is but a recognition, not a change at all. This light cannot be lost. Why wait to find it in the future? To believe that it has been lost already or was never there. In God's blessing does the light in you shine brighter, adding to the gifts you have to offer to the world. Our gift to the world. This is what we have to give. This is why we are here, to be the light of the world. We see the world differently when we know we are God's light. The light has come into our lives. We have awakened to its presence. And we see things differently. The light has come. In this present moment, in each and every present moment, I am God's light to the world. The third way we can say this is to emphasize I am. I am God's light. Together. I am God's light. This concept takes us deeper into the realm of metaphysics. It takes us into the realm of our spiritual identity. The I am is the metaphysical name of our spiritual self as distinguished from our human self. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of the Unity Movement, said, I am is eternal, without beginning or ending, the true spiritual being made in God's image and likeness. God's image and likeness is what I am. Spiritual law says that whatever we attach to that I am in consciousness is ultimately going to manifest in our lives. If we habitually say things like I am sick, I am poor, I am tired, I am broke, that's what we're going to manifest. So it becomes very important that we watch our words, that we watch our thoughts, that we don't get caught up in these ideas. And sometimes we do not even have to say these words for ourselves. Sometimes what we have to do is buy into what other people are saying to us or about us. When I was young, I very regularly heard my parents and other adults saying that I was a sickly child. And at that point in my life, I thought adults were correct and knew it all, so I bought into that. I believed that, and that was what I was manifesting in my life. It was only when I got into college and got introduced to metaphysics and metaphysical teachings that I discovered I didn't have to accept that. I didn't have to buy into that. I could affirm I am a whole, healthy, perfect child of God and manifest that in place of the dis-ease that I have been experiencing. So we have to say, I am God's light, because we are really saying that our spiritual identity, our true nature, is divine light. The I am, which is who I am and what I am, what I'm called to be, is God's light. And again, the Course in Miracles has a strong challenge for us. In Lesson 81, it says, how holy am I? Well, right there, that's a pretty powerful kick right there. To say, how holy am I? And say, yes, I have been given the function of lighting up the world. see that as your function? Do you see that as what you're doing as you go through life? It should be. In Unity, we use affirmative prayer and affirmation, so we can take this statement and we can make it into another affirmation. I am holy. I am lighting up the world now. As we buy this, as we build this into our consciousness, the shadows flee, the darkness goes away. We manifest the truth of who we are. And so when you're working with some of this, and it can be pretty intense, it's always good to remember to breathe. So the fourth way we can say this affirmation of ours for the day is to focus on God. I am God's light. Together, I am God's light. Not the world's light, not the ego's light. We know ultimately that the ego is illusion. Not my human concepts or perceptions of what light ought to be, but God's light, divine light, cosmic energy. In Paul's letter to the church at Rome, he wrote, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and perfect and acceptable." If we try to experience light in the world's terms, we get into trouble. We get confused. We get lost and misguided. Questions come up. Well, yes, but. Or, yes, but if only. Or what if? All these questions arise that divert us from the path we want to be on. Only when we look at the world through God's light, through God's eyes, do we see the world as it truly is, as good and perfect and acceptable. A shift in perspective has to take place. And finally, we affirm for the light. I am God's light. Together. I am God's light. Metaphysically, light is a symbol of divine intelligence or spiritual wisdom. Charles Fillmore called it the illumination of spirit resident in the center of every person's being. Course in Miracles puts it this way: what is light except the resolution born of peace of all your conflicts and mistaken thoughts? But a powerful reason to affirm God's light. The resolution of all our conflicts and mistaken thoughts. The creation of a new world transformed by love and by light. And so no matter how we say it, the truth is that God's light shines in and through us, transforming our lives, transforming our world into a place of peace, forgiveness, and love. I am God's light.